Hello everyone and welcome to day 62 of the 1000 days of Nocode challenge. In the past couple of days, we have seen how we can connect APIs to our application. We saw a couple of very basic APIs and then we also saw a couple of slightly complex APIs which had one or couple of parameters. But what about the current trend setter, AI? You see, the introduction of AI in our workspace has tremendously changed the way we work and solve problems. It's not just a buzzword anymore. As of 2024, 40% of the companies worldwide have been using AI in their operations, and another 42% have been considering the impact of AI in their operations, indicating that over 82% of companies have AI adapted in some form or the other. So we don't want our app to be alienated from this technology. That's why today we will be integrating the most commonly used AI platform, OpenAI, onto our application, enabling the developers to have an AI functionality onto their application. So let's get started. So just like we did in the last two cases, let's go to ChatGPT and ask it to help us with OpenAI's API. But this time, I'll slightly do it differently, right? So can you please share curl for OpenAI API with the latest model, okay? Now, I've given this as curl, right? And I'll tell you what it means. And then you get the curl from OpenAI along with the explanation that explains what are the parameters and so on and so forth, right? So all you have to do is copy this from here, go to your application, go to plugins, and then we can add another API here because we want to add OpenAI this time. So mention it as OpenAI here. Okay, and unlike last time where we added all the details here, click on import another call from curl and paste this. Now click on import. What it does is it will add all the details required for your API call. Okay, then you can change the name over here, which would be sentence completion. You can give any name that you want for this, right? And you can see that the headers have been added, the JSON parameter has been added. Okay, we saw in the previous cases that the response was in JSON, but here we are going to make an API call which has, right, the body as JSON, and this time it is post, not get, right? All the previous cases that we saw was to get. Get is basically where you're getting the details from the platform. Post is where you're posting and then getting something in return, right? So here we are sending a JSON body, right, which has a few parameters like role equals to system, content is this, then we have role equals to user, then content is this, max token is this much, temperature is this much, and so on and so forth, right? So that is what post stands for. There is a lot to understand about these methods like get, post, put, patch, delete and all. For now, you don't have to worry about it. Just understand these things, right? There is get, where we make an API call and then we get the details. Post is where we are sending a few parameters in the body and getting JSON or any other data type in return, right? Most probably JSON. OpenAI anyways gives us JSON output. So let's continue understanding this. Okay, now we have to add our API key over here, right? So let me just go to OpenAI and show you how do we get the key. If you don't have an account on OpenAI, please create it. Otherwise, you will not be able to use this. And then you have to go to API key, or rather, you can go to platform.openai.com/API key. Okay, and then you can see something like this. These are the keys that we have already created. Create a new secret key. Click on here, and you can give what is the name here. And I'm going to name this as 1000 Days Challenge. Right? If you have multiple projects, then you can choose from here. Okay, we just have default project and I'll click that. If you want to add any restrictions, read only and so on and so forth, you can do it from here. I'll go with all and create secret key, right? Once you create this, it'll ask you to copy, and please note that if you don't copy it here, you cannot copy it again. So click on done, right? Once you're done with that, it will show you like this. And if you want to create one more, then you can create it from here. And if you don't need anything, then delete it immediately. So we've got the keys now. I'll go to Bubble and paste the key over here. And then we've got the ready-made JSON from ChatGPT. Let's first initialize this and then see what are the data that we have in JSON, and then go to the next level. Initialize call. Most probably you will get the response because ChatGPT gives you ready to use solution. Okay. Now, like we have seen, this is a JSON format. Let's go to show raw data and see how it is structured, right? So again, it starts with open braces. Then we have ID. The ID is of a particular chat. Object is chat.completion. Okay. Then created is this one. This is created date basically, which is giving us in Unix format. And then model is GPT-4 0613, right? Choices. Choices is basically the response that we will need. Okay, you can see that role is assistant, and the answer that it has given is, hello, as an artificial intelligence, I don't have feelings, but I'm here and ready to assist you. How can I help you today? And then we can see prompts token 23, completion token 31, total tokens 54. Token is a measurement which gives us an indication of how much of their resource have we used, right? And whenever we go to OpenAI, we'll have to buy the credits to use these tokens. Okay. Since we have already bought it on OpenAI, we didn't have to pay again, but you will have to buy those credits to use these tokens, right? And now let me click on save and let's understand the input. Okay. Again, this is JSON as I mentioned previously. Model we are using is GPT-4. Messages, which is key, has a value which is in list of items, right? And that's why it starts and ends with square braces. Now we are sending two messages here. One where we say role is system. Okay, you are a helpful assistant. Now if you want to build a system which is meant for law, then you can mention you are a helpful lawyer, right? Or you are a helpful law consultant, right? Something on those lines. So whatever you want to tell the system to act as, that goes over here, right? And then you're going to give what is the user's question, right? So here you can see user asks, hello, how are you? And that's why we got a response which is, hello, as an artificial intelligence, I don't have feelings, but I'm here and ready to assist you. How can I help you today? Right? So let's quickly change this to you are a helpful technical assistant. And the question can be, what's the best no-code tool to learn in this world to build web application, right? And then I'll reinitialize call. So let's see what is the response that we've got. There are several no-code tools available today that you can use to build web applications. Here are some of the best ones. Bubble as the number one, right? Bubble is a visual programming language that lets you build software as a service, which is SaaS, applications, marketplaces, and CRMs without code. Bubble offers real-time editing, version control, and collaborative development. The second one, it says as Adolo, and it gives some description of Adolo. Right? So now, because we mentioned that you are a helpful technical assistant, and then the user had asked, hello, what's the best no-code tool to learn in today's world to build web application? This is all static. We want the users to be able to change the question so that they can get the answer to it, right? And that's why what I'll do is I'll make this as dynamic text. And the way we make this dynamic is by adding this symbol, right? So I'm going here, and I'm going to select the text and I'll make this as user question. So user question becomes a parameter which can be then changed. Okay, let's see how powerful is Bubble. Let's be specific, bubble.io. And now I'll reinitialize call. Let's see what it says. Bubble.io is quite powerful considering it's a no-code platform. It allows you to build fully functional web applications with complex workflows, data manipulations, and integrations without having to write any code. Customizability. Okay, with regards to customizability, Bubble.io offers extensive customization options from the user interface to the backend processes. You can build applications that are tailored to your specific needs. Scalability. With Bubble.io, you can start with a small application and scale it up to your needs grow. Right now, it has stopped in between here, and the reason is we have told max token is 100. That means we're telling OpenAI, do not use a lot of my credits, just give me answers within 100 tokens, right? Just so that we see this example fully, I'm going to make it as 300. Reinitialize the call, and we've got the response. So let's go to show raw data, and then you can see the response is larger now. Okay, and it has given us a lot more details. Even then, it has stopped because it wanted to give even lengthier answer, and we have told max tokens is 300. Stop it there. Anyways, so I hope you have understood how we can use OpenAI's API and make the question dynamic. Now, how do we ensure that this can be used on the front end? Let's quickly look into it and enable that on the front end. For that, we will make this as use as action, and I will make a new page which will be OpenAI, and this time and click on create. So I'll just go to the page layout, make this as column. As usual, let's add a group, and this group will be called main. And let's go to layout, add some paddings, quick, right? And then we want to add a text which says OpenAI API call demo. Let's add an input field, which is where we are allowing the users to ask the question, right? Type here AI technical. We have made the system to be a technical assistant, and we can allow this to group, right? And make the height as 45, and add the button over here, right? And then we can mention yet AI's response. Okay. And we will just go to layout, add some spacing of 15, and let's add one more group within this group, and we can name this as response. Go to appearance and make this as sentence completion, right? So select this is what we named, so let's select that. Data source we will get from the response. So I'll click on add workflow. Here we can search for sentence completion. OpenAI sentence completion comes here. It asks us for the authorization. We don't want this to be shown on the front end, and that's why let's go to the plugins and let's make this as private and this also as private. We don't want this to change, right? So let's go back to workflow, and now we can see that only question becomes your parameter. Okay, and this can be made dynamic by inserting dynamic data, and you have an input, type your questions value, and this will make the API call. Now we want to store the response in the group, which is response, and data to display is result of step 1. Okay, so the entire JSON response will be sent to the group. Now we can display whatever we want. Now I will add the text over here, right? And we can display whatever we want from the parent group. Let's quickly go to the API to see what exactly do we want to display, right? So you can see that these are key value pairs, okay? And then the answer that we need is in choices, right? And that's a list of things, and that's why we have to select choices first item, and then we have messages, okay, content. So let's see how we can select this on the front end. So click on this particular text, insert dynamic data, and parent group's sentence completion, which is the entire JSON which we are getting from OpenAI. Then click on choices because that's what we wanted, and then first item, then message content. Okay, message content is where the response is. And let's go to layout and uncheck this one so it expands, and fit height to content should be checked so that it expands if there is larger content. Okay, let's quickly check this. I'm going to preview. We are on a different page now, OpenAI, and we can ask any questions. So does Bubble.io provide plugins to enhance functionality for developers? Click on this and you can get the response from AI. Yes, Bubble.io does provide a range of plugins that can be used to enhance the functionality of applications and so on and so forth. Right? So this is how you can connect OpenAI to your Bubble application and show it on the front end for users to be able to ask questions and get the response back. In tomorrow's video, we will see how can we take this to the next level. And just like that, we have added a super brain to our app. Of course, that super brain needs its captain. It can't work on its own. Well, not yet. By 2025, AI is expected to cut down 85 million of jobs and create 97 million new ones. So we can all agree AI is the future. That's why I encourage all of you to try this out. We don't want our app to look off trend, especially in the world where AI is shaping the future of innovation. I hope you leverage this feature and see what enhancement it can bring to your app. We are covering the advanced version of this in the next video. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.